So I'm back down here at the same spot that I was at in my last video because it rained. It rained about 3 inches. 3 inches. So I want to come down here and show you the difference. Now, my last video, I apologize for my hand there. You see the normal flow of water was at the top of the bank, right? And you remember how dry this was and dirty? We got about 3 inches of rain in the last 4 or 5 days. So now we got some water flow. Now it's not as deep as it should be, but as you can see it's clean. There's some minnows swimming around in there. There they are, you see them? I'm barely seeing the minnows. Of course, there's rock bass in here. Red eyes, we call them. Rock. I'll take you over here and show you the flow that we got now. Now, this is a major creek. This creek from start to finish is almost 100 miles. They don't call it a river because it's got to be 100 miles long to be a river. You know, that's just how they define a river. And this creek is probably 95, 96 miles, so it's pretty large. It'd be a tiny river, but a large creek. So here we go. This is the flow of our creek here. It's about 2 feet wide, 4 inches deep. So it gives you an idea. Gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here. So the same amount of water. Hang on, guys, just hold still. I know this isn't very professional. The same amount of water that you see here spread out over this creek bed is the same amount of water that you just saw that's going down, that's flowing, actively flowing on top. Now, the reason it looks like a lot less water over here than back here is because of the water comes out and gets stuck here and it seeps through the gravel and goes underground. So that happens a lot. I just want to show you that. So we're doing better. We got these sycamore trees. They like to come up, you know, in the creek beds. That's sycamore trees generally grow around water. You know, not all the time, but that's their favorite place to live. So we'll take us a little walk. Take a walk, you guys. Always, if you're hiking, walking. I guess I hike. I don't know. It's more like I just like to go out. I guess it's hiking. Go out and walk around, see what's going on in nature, see if anything's new, see new things, explore, see what kind of animals are around. Taking a hike today. This is actually Monday. I'm supposed to be at work, but all my guys called in sick, all of them. So I didn't have anybody to come in and work, so I took the day off too. These flies get on my nerves. It's gorgeous out here. Yeah. Ah, bugs, man. Whenever I go for a serious walk through the woods, I don't wear white. I wear camouflaging colors, dull, dark colors, browns, blacks, and greens. I always take things with me, but you wear white in the woods, you know that the animals or the insects, you're going to attract them a little bit because they're attracted to bright colors, you know, for the same reason as they're attracted to flowers. They're going to come and check you out. been walking uphill for a minute, and it takes the breath out of you. It's good to practice talking while you're walking. I've done this a lot, and that's why the military does it. They sing while they're hiking, you know, or marching. It builds your lung capacity up. Here, check this out. Got this nice looking mushroom growing. This mushroom's poisonous. You don't want to eat this. This is not chicken of the woods or fish of the woods. It's poison. Here's some more similar poisonous mushrooms. You don't want to eat these. These are not for eating, okay? I wouldn't eat any mushrooms if I didn't know, if I wasn't a professional mushroom identifier. There's only two kinds that I know of that can be eaten. And of course it's morel mushrooms, come up in the spring. And the chicken of the woods, which is not too hard to identify, but I don't mess with it. What is that? Mold, I guess? I see this stuff on the ground. You know, I always wonder, what is that? Is that just like mold, or I don't know what it is. A lot of things I see that you don't know what it is. A lot of things we see at one time and not anymore, but there's more here. I see it. So there's some, I don't know, maybe it is turkey doo-doo. Gotta watch for snakes. Be very careful. Snakes, they like to hang out in cool places and around brush. But, you know, don't let things like that make you stop going outside, because you just can't be scared of things and keep them from, just gotta watch out for them, just like I watch out for coyotes or maybe bears or maybe the stray mountain lion. Bobcats, they could tear you up. Alright, what was peculiar about this is this tree here. It fell down through all that brush between these two trees. It's a very light tree. There's no way it could fall right down through there and fall to the ground and broke over. That tree, this tree that fell don't weigh nothing. It's light. So I thought that was very strange how it landed in that cradle. You know, it just doesn't seem possible unless a person stuck it there. But anyway, the reason I'm here is I planted some ginseng up here somewhere. I was gonna try to find it. And this thing I'm going up right now, we call it a draw. It's not big enough to be a holler. It's not big enough for certain, so we call it a draw. It's a ditch in the hillside, a ditch in the hillside. And the water comes out of here with a lot of power because it's so steep. Here we got the bedrock of the mountains showing. That looks like sandstone partially. Igneous rock. I don't remember where. I don't remember if I planted my ginseng up there. I know I planted some down here, and I see some of it, so it's not doing too well. mean, it's doing okay. See those? Get your top down. These are new ginseng plants. Now this one here's died. They're not getting enough water. There's some more up here. See those? I hope I'm getting them in the shot. There should be more. I'm gonna go up this thing. It's really slippery. Especially when there's nothing to hold on to. Oh my goodness. Don't slip, don't slip, don't slip. Stupid spider. It's bad to get into a spider web. Spiders crawling all over you. I'll go up here and check this thing out. This is the kind of places here where nobody else will ever be here. You go hiking, go places where nobody's ever been. I mean, I guarantee it, almost guarantee it completely, that nobody else in the history of this earth has stepped right where I'm stepping at. Just about bet my life on it. I'm gonna look around here for a minute. A little bit of greenery here. We're on a west facing hill, so it's kind of hot and dry over here. I'm not gonna go down, I'm gonna go across the hill and back that way. So I found a little bit of ginseng, so it's growing, but it's awful dry here. So it's really nice here, it's really pretty. So you can tell there's a faint trail that goes right around through there. These are deer take it, is what it is. So I'm gonna take it too. If you're wondering, that's a bumblebee nest. Check it out. If you ever wondered what bumblebees live in, just check it out. Isn't that nice? Did you see that? That's amazing. Yeah, so isn't that cool? There's two. I guess maybe just two of them live there. Maybe it's a male and female. I don't know. I don't know much about bumblebees. You know, they're not very dangerous. They'll sting you if you step on them or something, but they're not like yellow jackets. If I find a yellow jacket's nest, I'll film it too. These guys are buzzing around me, checking me out, so. They figured out that I'm here watching them, so. I'm gonna move on. It's getting hot, my hair's drying. So I always tell people where you're going. So somebody asked me, what is the few major things you don't want to do while it's nighttime in Appalachia, anywhere? That means from Georgia to New York, and even on up to Maine. And I'm gonna broaden this out and say you don't want to do this anywhere. So, number one, don't go hiking alone in the dark. And if you do, always take extra lights, batteries, GPS, because you can get in trouble in the dark, even without the supernatural aspect of it that people are eager to listen to. In the dark, things are totally different. I mean, yeah, it's the same forest without light. But in the dark, you're gonna trip. You're gonna find snakes that you can't see as well. You're gonna be bumbling around. If you got a flashlight, you only got just a circle of light you can see in. Anything beyond that, you can count as danger because you don't know what's in it. So don't go at night. If you do, take somebody with you, you know. And that's another thing. If you hear, this happened to me once, if you hear something in distress, be it a person or an animal or whatever, and it's like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, it's not a good idea to go rescue it by yourself. So I did that. I was away from here at another place, and I live in the woods, so in the place where we live, there's a massive creek down there, cliffs and caves everywhere. And I heard what sounded like a baby or a puppy, you know, like something that's just, you know, maybe 4 or 5 months old, something big enough to get around, but it was crying, it was whimpering and whining down at the creek. So it's about 300 feet from my house, straight down. It's a big cliff. And I heard coyotes after it. They were trying to get it, I guess. I assumed that it was a dog, like a puppy. And the coyotes, they eat dogs. They'll eat anything they can kill. If they come against a dog that they can't beat, they'll if it's a female, they'll join up with it and let it join their pack. But anyway, so I get the bright idea to go down and help this pup before the coyotes got it. I told this before. So you don't want to go out at night trying to rescue something, be it a person, a baby, an animal. So I go down there. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I go down there. I take my lights and my guns and my everything, and I get down there, and I'm within 40 feet, 50 feet of them. I can hear them, but my light won't penetrate through the trees. They're in the creek. And I say, here, puppy, here, puppy. I was trying to get it to come to me. Well, as soon as I spoke, now they saw me coming down because I had my bright headlamp on, which was like 2,000 lumens. And the batteries last about 20 minutes, so it's a good light. And they could see me coming, no doubt. I know they did. And then when I said something, though, the coyotes took off because I heard them the whole time I was down there after this pup. So the coyotes take off and the pup takes off with them. The pup thing making the puppy sound. And so I'm assuming they were coyotes. Okay, so I kind of got creeped out at that point because they all left together, and I was like, I'm in a bad situation. It took me a minute to get down because it's a straight down climb off a cliff. So I turn around immediately and I start climbing back up, and I'm glancing behind me, listening the whole time. Nothing's behind me, you know, that I can hear or see. I make it up to the house. It's about a 15-20 minute climb up this cliff, and I could have slipped and fell. I could have got hurt. But anyway, so I go in the house, put my gun down, turn around and go right back outside, and the same things that were in the creek were behind my truck. Like they followed me up there somehow, and they must have been right on my heels, and I didn't see them. And they were behind. As soon as I walked out on the back porch, I still had my light, but I didn't have my gun. And they started making yelling noises and stuff behind my truck. I couldn't see them. They were right out of sight. And so, you know, I'm wondering what it is and all this stuff. And it really freaked me out because I didn't see nothing follow me. I didn't hear anything follow me. So you gotta watch out for that stuff. If I would have fell, maybe it was coyotes, you know, I don't know. I didn't see them. It's just bizarre that they followed me up to my house and were behind my truck, howling at me when I came back outside. Of course, I went back in to get the gun, I think, and I come back out and they were gone. So they're very intelligent, you know what I mean? The intelligence there surpassed coyotes. Coyotes are intelligent enough, but it just didn't seem practical that they would do that. So I could have gotten in trouble. I've heard other things, you know, calling yoo-hoo in the night. This is really late at night from the area of the caves and stuff. So don't go out at night by yourself. don't go by yourself to rescue anything or anybody. Don't do anything that just seems like a bad idea, you know. So I'm by myself today, but I'm hiking. It's daytime. I'm safe. I got my pistol on my back. I usually got a shoulder holster, but I bought this Withers 9mm, and I haven't got it fitted on my holster yet, so I just carry it on my backside. Like, where's it at? Where's it at? Hold still. Don't leave. It's right here. See? So I always got something with me. If you take something like that in the woods with you, at least bring a 9mm. Don't bring anything any smaller. That's just my advice to you. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be last in hiking. David Paulides, he come up with this. You don't want to be last. Seems like all the bad stuff happens to the people that are last in line. You don't want to get out of sight from your family, your friends, whoever you're hiking with. You don't want to stay anywhere overnight that you got a bad feeling. Just don't stay. If you get a bad feeling about a place, leave. That's your senses warning you that maybe something's wrong. Maybe not. Who knows? But it's better safe than sorry. Yeah, what else? I don't know. It's all common sense. Oh, this is a big one. This is the most important one. This may not be common sense. If you're hiking around in the woods and you're not on the Appalachian Trail, you're not on the state park trails where it's normal to see other people, if you're hiking private land in the middle of nowhere and you hear people talking, you see people, don't go around those people. Try to stay hid from other people. I've always gotten in more trouble, and other people has too, by accidentally running into somebody else in the wood. When you're hiking in the woods, especially when you're way back in nowhere, if you see some other people, when you're not on a marked trail, you're not on a state park, you're not on a national park, you're not hiking the trails, you're on private land, but it's just a big forest, you know, for hundreds and hundreds of square miles. Avoid all people. And that's why I'm quiet when I'm in the woods. People say it's better off to be noisy to keep the bears away. And it's okay to be noisy and keep the bears away, but I don't do that. I would honestly rather tangle with a bear than to run into some folks out here that are up to no good. There's been a lot of people here in the last 20 years, you know, they're murdered in the woods just for hiking or riding their four-wheelers, and nobody ever finds out who it is, why they did it. You just don't want to come in contact with people in the woods, especially if you're just hiking private land and you don't know if you're a trespasser or not. One light duty confrontation I had, the heavy duty ones I'm not going to talk about. I don't want to talk about them. A couple of those were pretty intense. Now this light duty one, the one that if it ever happens to you, I hope it's this one. I ran into these two guys on their land. I was hiking, and I was hiking around looking for water, and just seeing if there's any ginseng, seeing what kind of stuff was out there. Started out on my own land. Started out looking for water to put a little water in my truck. I was going to get it out. I don't know. I was going to get it out of the stream or whatever. But anyway, I ran into these two guys, and they were not friendly to start off. They were hostile. When I got up there and ran into them, they're like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm just looking for water and just looking around, hiking around. We don't allow nobody on our land. What are you doing here?" So they asked me that like 5 times. I'm like, "Dudes, I'm leaving. I just wanted to see what it looked like." These guys were blowed up, their chests out. They were upset. I don't know what they were doing, but they cut me a break by not terrorizing, like they could have done anything they wanted and nobody would ever knew. And that's happened to a lot of people, a lot of young people. They get killed, they get murdered, they get beat up. So I'll give you my biggest advice is, number one, wash yourself off really well when you get done hiking. because I got chiggers on my legs. I got poison ivy on my hands. It's driving me insane. The poison ivy can be taken care of with Dawn dish liquid. It fixes it. But yeah, most important, don't run into any people. Avoid people at all costs unless you're in trouble. I have a bear fly. I'm trying to get it hold still here. And you know why they call it a bear fly is because it's got all that fur on it. And it's really stocky. Hopefully he'll turn around here.